Hey, shalom, Israel, for the brothers and sisters tuning in. Y'all can like and share the class, let everybody know we live. We'll get started in just a second, all right? Let me know how the sound is sounding for y'all. Let me know if it sounds echoey like it was last week. Let me know how it sounded. I mean, not last week, last night. Nah, it sounds real clear to me. Shalom, y'all. You say it's an echo now? Okay, hold on, man, because I ain't hearing the echo. All right? Do it sound good? Nah, yeah, cause I'm in a big room. But is the sound quality bad? Or can you make out what I'm saying? It's a little echo. Okay. Dang. All right, hold on. Hold on. I'm for sure in a big empty room. Okay, y'all can hear, right? Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, no sweat. All right. That's what I'm trying to make sure. Okay, it's still clear. Yeah, it's clear, but you can tell I'm in this goddamn. So we just got a little school down here, man. The rooms, for the most part, still empty. But we're gonna get it built up the way it needs to be soon enough, right? So as y'all can see, man, tonight we got a very heavy class, very important class, very informative class lined up for y'all. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here in Memphis, Tennessee, from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, ISUPK has classes. We now have classes that are open to the public here in Memphis, Tennessee. You brothers and sisters tuning in, you got family, loved ones, people you care about that's in need of leadership, guidance, counsel, protection. All you got to do is bring them to the ISUPK. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2021, there's nothing that's more important than for God's chosen people to wake up to the truth of who they are, where they come from, and what their purpose is on the earth. So these classes give us an opportunity to go into this book called the Bible, to not only read the stories of these great men and women who lived before us, but to be able to understand that the lives that these brothers and sisters that we read about living in the past are the same lives that we're living today. And if we can understand what those brothers and sisters were able to do in order to get themselves together to serve the Lord, to be worthy of being written about, if we can get ourselves together to serve the Lord, to be worthy of the blessings that the Most High promised that we would receive if we obeyed Him. All right. So tonight, every Tuesday is brotherhood class. Wednesday is biblical law. Thursday is scripture breakdown. Tonight's scripture breakdown is going to be on a very important topic. What is the soul? You understand? What is your soul? When we talk about salvation, we talk about being delivered. You understand? We talk about people. A lot of people say they're not. The thing that people love to say today is they're not religious. They're spiritual. Well, what does it mean to be spiritual? What is the spirit? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into all of those things tonight. Before we go into the topic, and this may need to be maybe a 2 or 3 part class. I doubt I'll be able to get into all the scriptures tonight. But tonight, what I hope to do is to just, lay a foundation or to establish a framework from which we can build on in terms of understanding what your soul is. You understand? Because the scripture tells us that, you know what I'm saying? Christ said, woe to him that gain. I mean, what does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? Well, how do you lose a soul? You understand? And if you lose your soul, where does it go? You understand? Why should you protect your soul? Why is your soul something that you want to find and want to keep? And how can you find it and keep it if you don't know what it is? So tonight's class, we're going to get you some basic level of understanding. What is your soul? And we'll use some scriptures on top of it. And I got some examples, some metaphors that I think will be able to really drive home the point and to help brothers and sisters be able to come to some understanding. All right, before we get into the topic, if anybody has any questions, all you got to do is type them in. As we see Sister Kapatazar, type them in on Facebook. Sister Kapatazar's question is, Salakia, sir, Psalms 119 and 80, let my heart be sound in thy statutes, that I be not ashamed. Can you tell me if this verse is talking about studying and being strong and obeying or something else? The verse mentions the Most High statutes. Are commandments and statutes used interchangeably in this context, or did the writer use statutes strategically? It's a very good question. You know what I'm saying? You brothers and sisters, you got questions, you want to structure your question this way. It's a question that provides the scripture that she's asking for, gets to the part of her question, and then provides further, further in-depth, details concerning what it is that she would really like to get to the heart of knowing. So we're going to read it one more time. Psalms 119:80 says, let my heart be sound in thy statutes, that I be not ashamed. You understand? Now, when we talk about the Bible, when we say the Bible is not a religious book, God did not give anyone religion. Most High didn't say, I want you to be Jewish and go out there and make people Christians. That's not in the Bible. To be Islam. None of the major religions that exist on the earth today tie to the Bible, because God never gave anybody a command or an order to become anything. The Lord chose a people based on the faith of men who lived at a time when he was dealing with no one. The Lord chose Abraham because Abraham proved himself to be faithful. That's something that we discussed last night. And in Abraham proving himself to be faithful, the Lord said, man, you my friend. You know what? I'm going to do something amazing for you, Abraham. I'm going to make you the ruler of the earth. And you'll see your children, your children's children that come after you, they're going to rule, man. They're going to have power. They're going to be kings and priests on the earth because you showed yourself to be faithful to me today. And in Abraham's faith and him becoming a friend of the Most High, hundreds of years later, found Abraham's children in the land of Israel, the land of Egypt. And those children cried to the Most High in bondage and suffering, and the Most High delivered us out of the hands of the Egyptians by the hands of his prophet Moses. When we came out of the land of the Egyptians, the Most High said, this people who I'm calling by my name, I want them to have a culture that is separate from everybody else's. I want them to have a way of life, a government that differs from everybody else's. And so he called Moses to go up on Mount Sinai. When Moses went up on Mount Sinai, the Most High gave Moses his laws, right? He gave him laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, what is the difference between the three? Now, in this context, they are used interchangeably. There's laws, there's statutes, there's commandments. Everybody understands? To get an understanding, okay, laws are, okay, so let's just go with commandments. Commandments were the 10 commandments, the must-dos, right? There's 10 commandments that you must do. You find those in the book of Exodus, I believe the 23rd chapter. Moses gave his 10 commandments. Those 10 commandments are the foundation that the statutes and the laws are built upon. You understand? There's 10 commandments, 10 don't do's. Then after those 10 commandments, there are statutes that builds off of those 10 commandments. The statutes that the Most High gave us was ways, the details of how to keep those 10 commandments. Because you got those 10 commandments is a very broad scope. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Well, what is adultery? Adultery is unlawful sex. You understand? Well, what's up? Well, what types of sex are unlawful? The statutes tell you what types of sex are unlawful. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Well, what does it mean to have other gods? The statutes tell you that you cannot, you should not burn incense to other gods. The statutes tell you that you should not go and into another nation's culture. You understand? The statutes give you the further details of what the commandments are. Then off those commandments, you get laws. From those commandments and those statutes, you get laws. And laws are very specific and detailed and deal with the nuances that the commandments and the statutes don't cover. Everybody understands? So when someone first comes into right now, the Christian world, they talk about the 10 Commandments, right? But those 10 Commandments don't cover what foods are lawful and unlawful to eat. That's not in the 10 Commandments. Who it is lawful for you to have sex with is not in the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not commit adultery is there, but the adultery could be having sex with another man's woman. You understand? Fornication could be adultery is a form of fornication. You understand? What are some other forms of fornication? Homosexuality is a form of fornication. Incest is another form of fornication. That's not covered in the 10 Commandments. That's why you have to have statutes and you have to have laws to deal with the intricate details that those 10 Commandments are built on. Everybody understands? Well, if you want to be someone who's going to serve the Lord and be righteous, you're going to need more than just those 10 Commandments. You're going to need statutes and you're going to need laws. So when this brother is saying in Psalms 119 and 80, let my heart be sound in thy statutes. This is a brother that's saying, let me understand the statutes. Let me know what the statutes are. Let me go deeper than the 10 Commandments. Let me go to Leviticus 11 and read what foods are lawful. Let me go to Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, to find out what the Lord requires of our nation. You understand? Let me go to Exodus. Let me go into the book of Leviticus, the book of Numbers, and the book of Deuteronomy to find these different statutes and laws that tell us how to govern our everyday life. This is a brother that's saying, that's praying that the Most High allows him to know the truth so that he can't be confounded, so that he can't be confused, so that he would not be ashamed. Can't nobody confound you or shame you, make you ashamed if you know what you're talking about. If you know God's law, can't nobody trip you up. Can't nobody say you wicked. Can't nobody say you evil, because you look at them like, nah, man, that ain't me. You can't say that to me. I do what the Lord said to do. I obey his laws. I keep his statutes. I don't just know the 10 Commandments. I know Leviticus 11. I know I shouldn't shave my beard. I know I shouldn't smoke weed. I know I shouldn't have sex with this woman if she isn't ready to be committed to me for the rest of our lives. That's what the statutes and the commandments, that's what the statutes and the laws are. They're more detailed, more detailed instructions that are beyond just the 10 Commandments. So this is a brother that's saying, listen, man, I want to know the Lord. I want to know everything that's right and wrong. I want my understanding to be sound. You understand? So the second part of the sister's question is, so yes, he's talking about studying so that he can obey. He's talking about studying so that can't nobody deceive him. Can't nobody trip him up. And that's how all of us, that's how the UPK raises us to be. UPK, when I first came in here, man, the brothers told me, listen, brother, don't believe what we saying because we saying it. If you don't trust something that we saying, brother, go study. Listen, go do the research. You go and you search and you find whether we right and wrong. And if we wrong, then come on back. Challenge us with it. Tell us where we wrong. And I did it. I went and studied. I didn't take these niggas' words for granted. I didn't believe what they said just because they said it. I wanted to go find out for myself. And when I went to search to go find out for myself, I found that everything that they were teaching was right. And because everything they were teaching was right, I've never been confounded since I came into the truth. Couldn't nobody confuse me about nothing. Couldn't nobody trip me up. You understand? And that's very important when it comes to you standing with the Most High, when it comes to you fighting for your soul. Just to go into the topic that we're going to get into tonight. So the sister said the verse mentions the Most High statutes are commandments and statutes used interchangeably in this context, or did the writer use statutes strategically? So they are interchangeable, but by the use of statutes in this one, this brother saying he's a little more in depth than just understanding. By using the word statutes, is letting you know that this is a brother who's serious about serving the Most High. There's a little bit goes further. It's a brother that's digging deeper than just the commandments. He want to make sure that everything he's doing is right with the Most High. Everybody understands. Now, we got any other questions? Any other questions? Most High Christ, Most High Christ. If I could, y'all, so lock you to do this. I need y'all to bear with me for about 30 seconds to a minute. Give me 30 seconds to a minute. So lock you for this. I'm gonna be right back. I need to grab something right quick. Give me 30 seconds. Hold on. All right, so lock you. I'm back. So lock you for that, y'all. Okay. All right, since I had a follow-up question, same book, verse 38. Turn away my reproach, which I fear. Is this a precept for what Yahushua said in Matthew 12:43 about the unclean spirit being 7 spirits more wicked than himself? Okay, so let's go ahead and read Psalm chapter 119 and verse 38, right? Just so I can get the whole verse. Make sure that I get all the context of it, all right? Hold on. All right, Psalm chapter 119, verse 38. All right, hold on, sis. Same book, verse 38. Okay, I'm at Psalms 119 and 38. It doesn't say that. Psalms 119, 38 says, establish thy word unto thy servant who was devoted to thy fear. Okay, verse 39, turn away my reproach, which I fear, for thy judgments are good. Yes, since you are on it. This is, okay, so what this brother is saying, so this is Psalm 119, 38. Establish thy word unto thy servant who is devoted to thy fear. This brother is saying, establish your word in your servant, in me. Who is devoted to thy fear, meaning I'm afraid of what you'll do to me. Put your words in me. Help me to live by these words. This is a brother praying for strength. This is a brother who's praying that the Lord to allow him to fight. This is a brother who's praying for his soul. This is a brother who doesn't want to sin. He's praying for the Lord to establish his word inside of him because he's devoted to fearing the Most High, man. He doesn't fear nothing more than disappointing the Most High. Verse 39, turn away my reproach, which I fear. What is reproach? Reproach is a bad reputation. Or reproach is shame. Somebody is when somebody is when you're ashamed of something. Okay, so if you do something wrong, you feel shame. What the people who are angry about you feel is reproach. Reproach is that nigga ain't shit, man. That nigga can't do nothing right. That nigga ain't never gonna be right. He can't never do what the Lord said to do. That's reproach. So a person on the outside feels they reproach someone. You ain't right, man. You ain't doing what the Lord said to do. You evil. You feel shame. This is a brother that's saying, turn away the reproach. I don't want no one to reproach me. I don't want no one to say about me, that's an evil nigga, man. That's a disgusting nigga, man. He don't do what the Lord said to do. This brother's praying that the Lord will turn away reproach. Don't let reproach come to me. Don't let me be ashamed for anything that I do. How do you turn away reproach? How do you not be ashamed? You obey the Lord. You serve the Most High and do what he said to do. This brother fears the reproach. He fears people saying you ain't nothing, man. You unrighteous. You a wicked nigga, man. He fears that more than anything. Why? Because what comes with shame, what comes with reproach, that voice in your head that tells you you ain't right, you ain't shit. You can't serve the Lord. You should just be an evil bastard. You can't do it. But you thought you was going to serve God. You thought you was going to get off of the drugs. You was going to stop being a homosexual. You thought you was going, what you going to be clean, nigga? You ain't never going to be clean. That is something to fear. Those of us who have been there, you've been in that dark place where you know you're living wrong and you know that God is against you and that voice in your head. Hell, for some of us, that voice told us to kill ourselves. We said, man, you might as well go ahead and die, man. You ain't got no life worth living. All this evil you've been doing gonna catch up to you, man. You're gonna be exposed one day. That'll drive you to commit suicide. Why do you think people get high? People get high to stop that voice, to stop that shame. Not realizing that getting high, the reason why the voices that tell you you ain't shit go away when you get high is because it wants you to get high. Because getting you high means you're closer to dying. When you get drunk, you don't even remember when you get drunk. You want to know why? Because you go to sleep and now the demon takes over. You don't even know what the hell happened. You're tired of feeling bad for yourself, tired of feeling like shit, so you just go and escape reality. Escaping reality is you letting the demon take control of you. Is you handing over the wheel to someone else. This brother, he doesn't want to go through that no more. He's saying, as he's begging the Lord, please put your word in me. Please, I'm devoted to your fear. I'm afraid of what you'll do to me if I don't obey you. Please help me to get right. Why? To turn away my reproach, which is what I fear. For thy judgments are good. What is he also saying? Shame is good. Reproach is good because it'll drive you to be better. If you won't be better if you can't stop letting yourself down, then damn, stop letting down the other people who look at you and who see you for what you're doing. If you don't care enough about yourself, think of the other people who are affected. And for every black man, you should think about your community, man. Think about your kids. Think about your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I wish we had this understanding when crack came around. Because maybe we would have, listen, I can't be no crackhead, man. I can't be no drug dealer. If not for my sake, man, and for all these babies out here, man, for all these kids, for all these, you know what I'm saying, for the sake of our people. If you won't do it for yourself, do it for them. This brother is begging the Lord to give him the strength. Begging the Lord to allow him to stay clean. Begging the Most High to turn away his reproach because he fears it. But he understands the Lord's judgments are real. You think depression is a bad thing? The Lord gives you depression. Because what does depression do? Depression make you fight. Depression make you fight or it whoop your ass. One of the two. And guess what? That's the nature of this battle. Either you're going to fight or you're going to get your ass whooped. You an alcoholic, you better fight that goddamn alcohol, or the alcohol will whoop your ass. You addicted to drugs, you better fight that addiction, or that addiction is going to whoop your ass. You can't stop eating pork, you better fight that urge to eat pork, or that pork is going to whip your ass. The Lord's judgments are right, man. The things we suffer for doing wrong, we should suffer those things. Because it's that suffering that make you say, you know what, man, I had enough of this. I'm tired of this. I'm going to get right. Which leads us right into the topic of discussion, which is about the soul. Tonight, we're going to talk about the soul. But we've been talking about the soul all night. Everything I just described is the nature of finding your soul and saving your soul. Let me give you some scriptures to help you understand, all right? Sister Kapata, let me know if you understand and if you got any more questions, all right? You know, if you got any other questions. Okay, let me get on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay. Let's get Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 65. It's 51, verse 45. Matter of fact, man. Okay, there's so many scriptures that I want to go to. Hold on. Hold on. All right, we're gonna get into some of these. We're gonna get into some of these scriptures later. Let me go ahead. Hold on. Here we go. All right, give me Matthew. Okay, this not ready for this one yet neither. Matthew 26. Hold on. Salaki, the sister wanted to know if she could precept it with Matthew 12 and 43. Let's go there first. Go to Matthew 12 and 43. All right. Salaki on that too, says Matthew 12, 43. Okay, so boom. Matthew 12 and 43 says, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest and findeth none. So what is an unclean spirit? An unclean spirit is a demon. An unclean spirit is an adversary. It is the thing inside of you that you're fighting. That's what an unclean spirit is. And we're gonna get into that after this scripture. I'm gonna get into the difference between your soul, your spirit, and an unclean spirit. But let me just read this for now. When an unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest and findeth none. Then he says, I will return into my house from where I came. And when he is come, he finds it empty, swept and garnished. So an unclean spirit leaves out of a man, right? A demon gets cast off of a brother or sister, leaves you. Meaning what? You've overcome that demon. You've defeated that demon. Demons leave you when they cannot beat you up anymore. That thing that makes you smoke cigarettes, it is a demon. Well, when you quit cigarettes, that demon has to leave. You beat that demon out of you. You understand? You got some sexual deviancy. You buy prostitutes or a homosexual, or you was molested as a child, and you don't know who you're supposed to have sex with. That thing inside of you is fighting you, telling you to be gay, telling you to go have sex with random people, telling you to not care about your body. But when you say, you know what, man, no, I'm not living my life that way. I'm not just going to be a victim of the things that happen to me. I'm not just going to be some nasty pervert or some nasty freak. You know what? I'm gonna live my life the way God said to live it. I'm gonna be the way God said it's supposed to be. I'm a man. I'm gonna be with a woman. I'm a woman. I'm gonna give myself to one man. Guess what? You defeat that demon. That is that demon of deviancy or unnatural sex, right? It leaves. Well, when you grow in the truth and you start to overcome different things and you start to defeat different demons, they'll leave. And when they find that there's nowhere for them to go, they get to missing what it was like being in you. They get to missing all the fun times, all of the nasty things they got you to do, all of the nasty ways it got you to goddamn submit to it. And they say, you know what, I'm going back home. And when it comes back to you, it finds that you've been clean. You've been in the truth for 6 months. Hell, you've been in the truth for 3 years. Just say, God damn, it ain't no weed demon in here. It ain't no sexual deviancy demon. Damn, this nigga don't even eat shrimp no more. He don't even eat pork. The nigga say, man, he ain't had sex, right? He ain't had strange in about 4 years, man. He got one woman he ain't having sex with, man. Or he got 2 wives. He don't even go to the club and get hoes no more. Damn, this place is clean. Verse 45. Then goeth he and then taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation. This thing that Christ described has been happening for thousands of years on the earth. You don't get clean and try to kick the habit, then that demon will come back stronger. Think of anybody you ever known that battle with drug addiction. I've known some people in my life, man, battle with crack addiction, man. It's a horrible, crippling, evil demon. And they fight it and get a little clean, but then they relapse, and the relapse is always worse than it was before. They'll be cracked out for some time, man. They'll try to get right, go to rehab, or disappear, move to another city and try to get their life together. Then they'll resurface, they back clean again, they doing good, looking like they self. Like, damn, man, I'm proud of them, you know what I'm saying? Proud of you, man. You done fought that thing, you done kicked that, got that monkey off your back. And then before you know it, if they not strong enough, they'll fall back into it. When they fall back into it, they fall deeper than they were before. Well, that's what Christ is describing. And you can experience this on any level with any demon. When you start to free yourself of these demons and you start to cleanse yourself and you get stronger, you have got to prepare for the assault that is going to come in the form of 8 demons stronger than the ones you had on you before. And to be in the truth and to fall out of the truth, you'll be in a worse position after falling out of the truth than you were before. Everybody understands. And why do these things take place? Why is this happening? Because we are in a war. We are in a battle. You understand? The earth is just the backdrop. You understand? It's just the setting. But the war, the battle is taking place inside of you. It's raging inside of you. You understand? And that battle is between your soul and the demons who want to corrupt your soul. So that brings us to the question of what is your soul, right? Trying to find the right scripture to start off with. I got a ton of scriptures lined up. I'm just trying to find the right one to start off with. You understand? And it's coming. It is coming. You understand? Hold on. It's coming. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. Hold on. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. All right. Okay. I can't find the right starting place. So I'm just gonna go right into it, right? Hold on. All right, hold on. Let's get First Peter's chapter 12. All right, oh, that's not it, man. That's not it. That's First Peter chapter 2, matter of fact. Hold on. All right, let's get James 5 and 29. Hold on. So, oh man, nope. Hold on. Matter of fact, get Matthew 26 Matthew 16:26. We'll just start here. I thought that I could find a better starting place, a more, artistic ain't the word I'm looking for. Just thought that was a more advantageous point to leap off into this topic with. But we're just going to start right here. Matthew 16:26. It's a scripture that many of us should be familiar with, right? Matthew 16:26 says, "For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?" Your soul is the part of you that comes from the Most High. Your soul is the spirit that the Lord created up in heaven, where he dwells, where he exists. And that soul, that spirit was with the Most High before it came into this body. But that soul and that spirit was sent into this body to operate it correctly. So, gonna bring us to the metaphor, right? Your body is like a car. So imagine your body is like a car, it's a machine. The human body is like any machine that people use today. Your body is like a car, it's like a computer, it's like the cell phone, right? Your body is a machine. It has an engine that runs and it operates, right? You got gas, it got brakes, you got to put oil in it. That's your body. Your body is a car. Your soul is who God put in the driver's seat. Now the car has an engine, right? An engine that runs. Car has a steering wheel. If your soul is designed to drive the car, to press down on the gas and to decide how fast it goes, to press on the brake and to slow the car, to slow the vehicle down, right? What would a car be if no one drove it? What would a car do if it was automated, if it didn't require you to put your hands on the steering wheel? Something that they're trying to develop now is automated cars, right? Well, imagine a car that is designed that can drive itself. I mean, it has an autopilot mode, right? You have a car, you put it on autopilot, then the car is going to do what it wants to do. Meaning the car, you could start the car could, drive itself, it could back up, it could go forward. The car doesn't need you to put your hands on the steering wheel. But if you don't have your hands on the steering wheel, then there's a chance that the car could run off the road. If you're not the one that's pressing your foot on the pedal to tell the car to go forward or putting your foot on the brake to tell the car to slow down, the car could run off the road and crash. If you have a car that you're supposed to be driving and taking care of it, but you don't take care of it, you don't read the instruction manual, you don't, change the gas when you're supposed to. Change the oil when you're supposed to. You don't put the premium gas in it. Then what you're going to do to that car? You're going to run that car into the ground. You're going to destroy that vehicle. Well, your body is the vehicle the Most High gave you, and your soul is supposed to run that vehicle. Righteousness, obeying the Most High, is operating the vehicle properly. Eating the lawful foods he said to eat is like putting premium gas in your car. Having sex, sex equals marriage. Meaning you lay down with a woman, you keep her for the rest of your life. You ladies, the last man you had sex with, or the next man you have sex with is your husband until the day he died or he abandoned you. You understand? That's getting the oil changed. Not worshiping other gods, not smoking weed, not smoking cigarettes. You understand? Not overindulging. Whether you overindulge in food and be overweight and be a glutton, or you overindulge in wine and be an alcoholic. That's like not changing the tires on the car. You understand? Well, what causes you to not operate the vehicle properly? What causes you to not treat your body like the temple of the Most High that it is? In this vehicle with you are other passengers. There's a nigga on the there's a nigga in the passenger seat. There's a nigga piled in the back behind you. There's another one that's behind the passenger seat. Hell, some of our vehicles got 8 rows. It's a whole football team piled into your vehicle. Those other people in the vehicle are the demons that are trying to take the wheel. When you are sinning, when you are living wickedly, when you are living unrighteous, when you take your hands off the steering wheel, it's because someone else that is in that vehicle has convinced you that the car could drive itself. Just listen to the car. The car will tell you what it needs, man. That's what's happening inside of all of us. That is the battle that we are all fighting. We have been put inside of this vehicle, which is our fleshly bodies, and the Most High said, I want you to drive. But he also allowed for other people to be in the vehicle with you to convince you that you shouldn't drive the way the Lord said to do it, and you should drive how you want. The Most High, when he put us in this vehicle, he told us to put our seatbelt on, man. Put our hands at 10 and 2. Adjust the mirror to make sure we can see who's in the rear view. To check our mirrors before we go into another lane. To turn on our lights and make sure the blinkers work. To check the brake lights. If other people in the vehicle is telling you, man, listen, man, you ain't got to keep your hands at 10 and 2. You can lay back and drive smooth, man. Turn the music up a little bit louder. You ain't got to turn your signal on every time you switch lanes. You got airbags, man. You tripping. Those are the voices that's in your head. Those are the demons, the other spirits, the unclean spirits that are in you. They want you to wreck and destroy the vehicle the Lord gave you. The Lord's instructions, you're going to keep that vehicle for forever, as long as you can. Hold on to it. Hey, you can be out here driving you a vintage vehicle. Old as hell, 60, 70 years old, but guess what? It's in tip-top condition. Why? Because it's been operated properly. That's the nature of your soul. Your soul is the part of you that came from the Most High that he put down here to operate the vehicle that you're in. But you are not the vehicle. You're not that car. You're not that machine. But you should be the pilot. Now, for many of us, if you understand what I'm laying out, you know that you're not in, you for many years of your life were not in control of that vehicle. Somebody else was piloting it. Somebody else has been holding down the wheel while you just been sitting there going for a ride. And you've been sitting there going for the ride, scared out of your goddamn mind, knowing that anytime the police gonna pull us over, man, or we gonna crash because we driving reckless. You understand? Well, the Most High, Lord allow, with this class and with many others, you'll be able to start to take back control, start to reposition yourself in that driver's seat, and everyone else who's in that car, either they're gonna have to shut the hell up or they're gonna get out. Everybody understands? So this is what it's talking about when it says, what shall a man be profited if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? What does it mean to gain the world? What does it mean to gain the world? This now to the analogy of the vehicle, right? Here's how the body is different. Here's how the body is different. The passenger that is in this vehicle with you came with the vehicle. Meaning the things that you battle inside of for control of the driver's seat, they were there when the vehicle was brought. So when you were put in the vehicle, someone else was put in the vehicle too. And that someone else was giving orders to stop you from driving responsibly, to challenge you to see, are you going to drive this vehicle responsibly and do what I said to do, or are you going to disobey? And go back to last night when I said that the biggest enemy or the biggest battle we're going to have in our lives is fighting with ourselves. Because there's something in us that wants us to disobey the Lord. There's something in us that tells us that we can't be perfect, that tells us we can't serve the Most High. That thing that's in us telling us that we can't, it was in us, it was with us when we first got the call. It's been with us our entire lives. That thing that you fighting, that thing that you fighting in your life has been with you in this vehicle since the day you were born. And it wants nothing good for you. It wants you to feed the vehicle. It wants you to just, hey, whatever the car wants, let it have it. You understand? And if you allow yourself to if you allow your vehicle to be autopiloted, then guess what? The car just wants to direct you, tell you what it wants. Right now, we have normal bodily functions. You get thirsty, what do? Take your drink. Stomach get to grumbling, must be hungry. Get something to eat. If you're a man, blood flow to your penis and it get erect, I must find something to have sex with. If you're a woman, it's the other way around. You understand? If you allow for your body to operate on autopilot, then you will be operating naturally. And then naturally, you'll operate like the animals. Animals live their lives on autopilot. Animals have the spirits that's inside of their vehicles too, but their vehicles are autopiloted. They already come with programming and instructions. The vehicle just does what it does. That's why animals ain't got no shame. Animals don't think twice. Animals just do what they do. You have a conscience. That conscience is your soul. You have something in you that says this is right, this is wrong. It says I shouldn't feel this way. And this is not how it's supposed to be. That's your conscience. The passenger or the demon on your flesh is the thing that says, hey, what you talking about, man? Just do it anyway. Who cares? What rules? What manual? What are you talking about? God said it. Man, ain't no God. It's just us in the universe, and we just here experiencing, life for consciousness sake. All of those things are the enemy trying to get you to take your hands off the wheel. Now let me go ahead and get you some scriptures so that I can start to show you all in the Bible what it is that I'm trying to express with this with explaining to you that your soul is what the Lord put inside this body to pilot it. And that the demons and the temptations and the other forces at play are passengers who are all trying to get you to take your hands off the steering wheel. Everybody understands? Let me drop that. Let me get well, first, let's go to the first man, the first soul. Can we get that? When did we gain consciousness? When did we gain awareness of this war, of this battle that I'm describing now? When did man first become different from the animals? Let's go back in the book of Genesis. All right. The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 6. Everybody understand? Right, Genesis 2 and 7. It says, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Now, for time's sake, I'm not going to go into the whole breakdown of that. If you want to understand what Genesis 2 and 7 means, you want to understand Adam's formation, then there's breakdowns on this ISUPK Memphis channel. All you got, No Cowards Memphis on YouTube, ISUPK Memphis on Facebook. All you got to do is go to the page and search Adam and Eve breakdown. Everybody understands? Adam being formed from the dust and having the breath of life breathed into his nostrils was the Lord finding Adam living like all the other people, not having no direction, not having no guidance, not having any shame. And the Lord taught Adam better. He gave Adam a culture, gave him a way of life, gave him instructions on what to eat and what not to eat, who to have sex with, who to not have sex with. You understand? How to understand the sun, the moon, and the stars without worshiping them. That's what God gave to Adam, and he became a living soul. Adam became a living soul when he was aware that he could drive the vehicle the way he wanted. He was no longer living based on his instincts or based on what his body felt, but he became aware to make a decision. That's what you have as a man and a woman, as a soul. You can make a decision. Animals don't get to do that. Animals can be trained, but they don't have a mechanism inside of them that makes them choose. Everybody understands? What makes us different from the animals, from the other creatures the Lord made, is he gave us the ability to decide. But with that ability to decide, the Lord also challenged us with someone in the passenger seat that would tell us to do wrong. We want to go left. There's something in us that tells us to go right. There's something that's fighting for our soul. What is that thing that's fighting for our soul? Let's go ahead and get it. All right. Let's get Romans chapter 8, verse 7. Romans chapter 8. Man, let me get Romans 8 and 5. Everybody understands? But when the Bible talks about being spiritual, the Bible is talking about being in the driver's seat. Someone who's spiritual, they control their body. Their body doesn't control them. When you're someone who's natural, a natural person does whatever the hell they feel. A natural person, I see a woman, she pretty, I'm going to try to have sex with her. There's no rules. There's no laws. There's no, does she have a man? Is she with somebody right now? Is having sex with her something that's good for her? A natural person doesn't think of any of that. A natural person says, hey man, we're attracted to each other. Let's have sex. Why not? That's what's natural. What's not? You ever see two dogs get together? Two dogs gonna sniff each other. Oh, the dog penis get hard. She in heat. She bend over, he get on the back, and they do it right there in front of everybody in the parking lot, just doing it because that's natural. There are people out here who are behaving naturally. There are women who call themselves nymphomaniacs, meaning she just wants to have sex all the time. Why are there women who want to have sex? Okay, let me hold up. Nothing wrong with wanting to have sex all the time. That can be natural for some people. Their vehicle is designed to want sex. What's spiritual though is to say, I want to have sex all the time, but this sex is only for one man. That's spiritual. There's some brothers that want to have sex all the time, man. Their vehicle is geared towards sex all the time. I want it, gotta have it, need more of it. But what's spiritual is to say, I'm only having sex with women who will only have sex with me. To put laws and rules, to put a governor on decisions you make in life, that's spiritual. To have no rules and no governor, that's natural. And some of y'all might say, what about the people who do have rules? They just not God's rules. The only rules are God's rules. The only rules are God's rules. That is the standard for driving this vehicle. If you are not driving according to the manual that God created, the laws, the rules that God gave you, then you're not driving. There's people there are women out here right now. There's a whole polygamy movement. I don't mean to sidetrack, but there's a whole movement where it's being pushed that monogamy is not what we should do, right? And it comes from Okay. So like, there's a whole movement right now against monogamy. Monogamy is one man, one woman. That is what the white man gave to us because he didn't want us, he didn't want men living the way God said they should live. But right now, in this evil, perverted time we're living in, instead of the focus being on a man, instead of the focus being on what God said, which is a man can have more than one woman, there's this whole movement towards just what everybody's already doing, which is just have sex with who you want to have sex with. And they call it polyamory. I mean, you just want to love many people. Polyamory is just the same thing that everybody been doing, which is just doing what's natural. Have sex with who you want to have sex with. Who cares? Meet somebody, get to know them. If you like them, have sex with them. Don't be ashamed about it. Don't feel bad about it. There's an entire movement to remove that consciousness, to remove the shame from doing nasty things, to just be like animals. Just because you love many people doesn't make you better than somebody who's monogamous or somebody who's in a relationship and lies and just has a bunch of random sex partners. Being someone who's in a relationship with somebody, I'm having sex with other women, she having sex with other men, we're no different than the people out there who just having sex. It's the same exact thing. The rule is the one that God established. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Adultery is a man having unlawful sex with a woman. Well, adultery is unlawful sex. Or not, fornication is unlawful sex. Adultery is a man having sex with another man's woman, or a woman having sex with any man besides her man. That's adultery. Fornication, unlawful sex. A man having sex with a man, that's unlawful. A man having sex with two women at the same time is unlawful. A woman having sex with two men, forget about it. That's a train. That is nasty. And it's unlawful. Having sex with animals and all of the nastiness that people get into, that's unlawful. Just having any rules is not good enough. The only rules that matter are God's rules. Bear with me, y'all. Hold up. Go ahead. Hold up. So, the only rules that matter are God's rules. A spiritual person is someone who applies God's rules to their decisions. A carnal person is somebody who just does what their body wants. Don't think about it. Don't have a philosophy about it. They don't know God's rules. So whatever rules they got is just something they decided to make up, which is still just them following their flesh. Everybody understands? All right, let me go ahead and get this. Romans chapter 8, verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. People who fleshly, carnal, they care about the things of the flesh. Meaning what? They hungry, they go eat. They don't give a damn. Listen, I need to eat. Nigga, I'm hungry. They thirsty, I want to drink. Listen, I need to drink. They stressed out, they want a relief. That relief is weed, they go smoke a little weed. If that relief is drinking till they pass out, they drink till they pass out. If that relief is nasty sex with a stranger, they go find a stranger and have nasty sex. They mind the things after the flesh. What are some other things that are after the flesh? Depression is something that's after the flesh. Why is depression something that's after the flesh? What are people depressed about that are depressed? Depression is something that plagues you about things that you don't have in your life, things that your physical body doesn't have. You understand? Depression tells you that you're not pretty enough. Depression tells you ain't got enough money. Depression says, man, you 32 and you ain't even finished college yet. You got this kid, you ain't get married. You and your girlfriend broke up, man. You can't keep a relationship. Depression is something that is carnal. When you care about the things of the flesh, depression will beat you the hell up. But when you're a spiritual person and you live your life spiritually, you'll tell depression, F that bitch if she left me. I didn't need her anyway. She wasn't never with me to begin with. Spiritual person will tell depression, listen, man, so what I'm 32 and I ain't even get that college degree. The Lord still providing for me. So what I ain't buy a house, you understand, at 29. So what I had these kids and I ain't got no wedding ring. That's not what's important in life. You understand? These things that we struggle with, these mental disorders, they come from the flesh. Now, you can treat them in the flesh. You can treat a mental disorder in the flesh, give it a pill. The body struggling with depression, take this medicine, take this pill, feel better. Or you can elevate your spirit and overcome your flesh. Or you can learn the truth and learn how to fight the thoughts that come to you when you're depressed. Now, both of them are difficult, but only one of them actually deals with the problem. People who are depressed to take medicine is good. If you're taking that medicine and it's helping you, that's good. But the medicine is not solving your problem. You have to cast that demon out. And the only way you can cast the demon out is if you strengthen your spirit against it. Learning the truth will help you fight your demon, help you fight depression. Depression is in the driver's seat saying, take your hand off the wheel, man. Just go ahead and crash. Fuck it. Don't even matter what you do. Why you driving straight, man? Why you got your seatbelt on? Don't you see it doesn't make a difference anyway? You know how you kick depression out the goddamn car? Say, damn what you talking about. I'm gonna do what the Lord said to do. And I'm gonna drive this car right. I'm gonna operate it properly. I'm gonna eat right. You understand? I'm gonna put the right things in my body. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm gonna stop allowing people in my life that's gonna break me down and weaken me. You understand? And increase the ability for depression to tell me that I ain't shit. You can't do that unless you are a spiritual person. Everybody understands. I didn't mean to get sidetracked with that. Romans 8:5, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. But they that are after the spirit, the things that are after the spirit. When you take control of this vehicle, you take control of your life, take control of your body, and you determine how you're going to live and what your life is going to be about, then you mind the things that's after the spirit. How do you mind the things after the spirit? You find out about God. Now, for those of us that's in the truth, we've arrived at a place where we really learning the real deal, hardcore truth about the Most High. But there's other people who may not have arrived here yet, but they're journeying. You might encounter them. They talk about the universe. They talk about how, the universe is working things out for them. That's somebody who's trying to be spiritual. They just don't know that spirituality comes by the rules of the Lord. They looking at the universe and seeing how things in their life worked out, and it's been good for them. They just calling it the universe because they don't know it's the Most High. Maybe one of the passengers made sure they had a bad experience in church growing up. Maybe one of the passengers reminds them of their mother who was supposed to be a good Christian, but was an evil, disgusting bitch. So they don't want to say it's God. They don't want to believe that it's in the Bible because the people who they hate, the people who molested them, the people who destroyed them, the people who used them their whole life, they were people who were supposed to have the Bible. Well, goddamn, what if this whole time the evil people in church, the demons inside the people who were in the church were destroying those people just so that the demon inside of you could say, see, the church is evil, and the Bible must be wrong. Listen, the demons will tell you anything to get you to stop from obeying God. You'll be saying to yourself, hey man, the way I'm living my life ain't right. I got to get right with the Most High. The demon in the passenger seat will say, yeah, man, well, let's go look at the stars. Let's go worship the astrology. Let's go look at the Taurus sign and the Leo sign. Let's go study in astrology and find out what happens when Mercury is in retrograde. You can go give your spirit to Mercury in retrograde as long as you don't go talking about God and no laws in that Bible. Because God and the laws of the Bible is what's going to have you living after the Spirit. But there's a gulf, but there's a small space between living after the flesh and journeying towards living after the Spirit. But it's black and white. Those who are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are of the Spirit mind the things of the Spirit. It's black and white. There's no in between. But there's people on the, listen, for me personally, on my journey from living in the flesh to living in the Spirit, I went and studied everything. Yeah, I was studying astrology, looking at the stars and the goddamn Sagittarius and the Cancer and wondering what the hell it all meant. Didn't change my life, didn't stop me from doing what my body wanted to do. I went into that Christian church. The music was good. I got to wear them little suits. I look good in the suit. Little tie, little shave my face, hair down a little bit, had a good clean cut. I had the dreads back then. I was looking good, getting all the church girls. But I couldn't stop my body from doing what it wanted to do. Then when they kicked me the hell out of the church for asking too many questions, for searching too much, then I went, found my friends who had got locked up and said, man, tell me about that Islam. Y'all coming home, assalamu alaikum, tell me about that. They telling me about Allah. And I'm like, nigga, I can't. That whole Islam shit, you got to be in jail to learn that. I'm telling you straight up and down. If you're going to be really into Islam, you got to be in jail. Because okay. Islam is a prisoner religion. It's like you have to live your life like a prisoner. In Islam, you got to bow 5 times a day. You got to repeat the same phrase. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no salvation in it. You got to be a damn robot to be a Muslim. On some real, like, really, you got to be a robot to be a Muslim. It's a fucking slave religion. I was a free nigga. I couldn't be no goddamn Muslim. I couldn't be no slave. You understand? A lot of people say they couldn't be Muslim because of eating pork thing. That's not what it is. Niggas can't be Muslim because niggas, if you free, you free. I'm not, bro. Islam is something you do when you in prison and you trying not to get raped by a nigga. On some real shit. Islam is something you do when you in jail and you trying to be with the tough niggas so that don't nobody rape you. So they bow down 5 times a day. Bang your head on the goddamn concrete. That ain't no free man thing to do. And if you go study the history of Islam, Islam spread by murder, spread by nigga, I kill you. Unless you acknowledge that that the God of Muhammad is that Muhammad is a prophet, and the God of Muhammad is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Moses. All right, nigga, whatever you say, just don't kill me. That's how Islam was spread. How do niggas convert to Islam in jail? The regular niggas is getting raped for protection. They gotta go suck a penis or get their back blown out to be protected in jail. A soft nigga, a nigga who don't want to get raped, he'll go become a Muslim. Now, here's what the real niggas in jail do. I'm not getting my back blown out and I'm not being Muslim. I'm just gonna be a regular nigga and wish somebody would try me. I'll be in jail by my fucking self. Fuck, I gotta be excuse my language. Why would I have to choose? You mean to tell me a nigga can't go to jail and just be a nigga in jail? There's millions of niggas in jail that's just niggas in jail. Then there's niggas that went to jail and became Muslim. Or there's niggas that went to jail and didn't become Muslim, but they were some niggas bitch. That go to show you that you bitch made either way. You understand? You went to jail, you became a Muslim. It wasn't because it was some amazing knowledge, just because you was a bitch. Point blank, period. You was scared in there, and them niggas said, listen, brother, if you want to be protected, submit to Allah. You wouldn't submit it to Allah. Well, I couldn't do that as a free man. When I realized Islam wasn't key, I got into the Egyptology. Got to studying, different things and reading about different ancient cultures and ancient religions. And them ancient things sounded, hey, man, it sound kind of cool. Sound all right. But it couldn't get me to stop fighting my flesh. It wasn't until I came into the truth that I learned how to live after the Spirit. It wasn't until the truth that I became a living soul, that I understood what God expected from me, that I understood what the instructions were. And when I tried to take hold of the wheel, I found that there was another nigga saying, nah, man, you can't take control of the wheel. I got control. And I realized, well, God damn, you mean this whole time I ain't been in charge of my life? It's been somebody else leading me? Who the hell else is in here? And that's when I found out what it is that I'm breaking down to you all today. Romans chapter 8, verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death. If you carnally minded, you death. Meaning what? If you are being controlled by your flesh, then you're going to die. If you're listening to what your body tells you, if you everything you do is what makes you feel good, if you eat something because it smells good, you have sex with a bitch because she turns you on. You understand? You smoke something because it makes you feel good. That's death. Living your life that way is death. Understand the Bible said to be carnally minded. Where is this taking place? In your mind. Being carnal or being spiritual is something that starts in your mind. Why? Because your thoughts lead to your actions. I don't pick this cup up unless I say, I'm going to pick the cup. In my mind, there's something I say, pick this cup up before I pick it up. If I'm now picking up the cup is not lawful or unlawful. But if I'm going to sin, before I go sin, there's a thought in my head. Listen, there's a ton of brothers out there who are emotional, meaning what? You react all the time. Somebody say something to you. What you say, motherfucker? Your woman, you're saying you could be anything. You constantly reacting to things based on how you feel. That's what it means to be emotional. There's nothing wrong with feeling emotions. Emotions, you're supposed to feel them. They come, they hit you, sadness, happiness. You understand? Resentment, shame, fear. You feel them. But a man who's in charge does not react to those emotions. A carnal man reacts to his emotions. Something happened, he quick to act. A spiritual man thinks and says, well, hold up. Then what should I do here? How am I going to respond? How should I handle this situation? That's what it means to be spiritual. To be carnal is just do whatever comes to you. Someone who's spiritual, they weigh the consequences. They analyze the situation and say, hold on, God, that's not right. I can't do that. Regardless of what I feel right now, I can't let my feelings get me in a worse position. I gotta respond the correct way to this. That's the difference between being carnal and being spiritual. To be carnal minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. When you're spiritually minded, guess what? Life and peace. What is the peace that this is talking about in being spiritually minded? When you're in control, when your spirit is in control, when the way that you live and the decisions you make are based on what's right and wrong according to God, then you are no longer full of turmoil and full of anguish and full of pain because you're winning that battle. The more you conquer demons, the more you kick out those passengers out of your vehicle, the quieter the ride becomes. For some of you, your mind is too loud, man. It's too much going on because you got too many passengers in your vehicle. You should focus on serving the Lord so you could kick some of them out and your ride will be quieter. You could turn the music down. You could focus on what's happening on the road before you. You could check your mirrors before you go to the left or the right lane. That's what it means to be spiritually minded. That's what it means to have life and peace. The brothers and sisters who are carnally minded, who are living in the world according to their flesh, they're not living. It's not living, man. You sinning every day and you doing evil, you're not living. You're just breathing to death. You're taking up space. Living is when you take the wheel and you say, I'm going to drive the way the Lord said to drive. I'm going to live the way the Lord said to live. I'm going to do what the Most High said to do. That's driving. That's living life. You just a passenger inside your own vehicle, man. and you have not begun to live at all. If you don't know how to deal with emotions and face them and feel them, if you run every time you feel an emotion, every time you feel sad, you run from sadness. You run to the goddamn drink. You run to the goddamn weed. You run to feeling something good in your body. And guess what? You ain't living life. You running from life. Life is about going through the battle. Life is about facing the enemy and defeating him in your mind. But if you run every time uncomfortability comes your way, then you ain't living, man. You just breathing to death. Let's keep reading. Romans 8:7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, meaning the carnal mind is an adversary to God. That carnal mind will tell you anything, as long as will accept anything as long as it's not obeying God. That carnal mind will have you, having threesomes, oh God, oh, nasty things, man. Getting high, shooting up dope, going to Christmas parties, going to Halloween parties. You understand? Celebrating your birthday, worshiping the stars, and basing your whole life around what season it is and which phase the moon is in. Your flesh will let you do all those things, except for submit yourself to God. And I'm telling you, I did everything. It was so easy to go into that church and just come as you are. It was so easy to go to church and hear them songs, and Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And it gets better when you smile. And you can talk to people. I remember going to church like, yeah, I'm gonna bag me one day. Give me one of these good church sisters. Guess what? You come into the truth, you're not bagging nothing. You can't even talk to these sisters in here. They just pretty. You better not say nothing. You can't go in the truth and go bag some women. You understand? I remember, man, everything I got into in my life was so easy. The only thing that was hard is the truth. Because the truth is the only thing that your flesh will fight you on. Your flesh don't fight you on being a Muslim. Your flesh don't fight you on, being pro-black. Your flesh fights you on serving the Most High. The carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. Your flesh cannot agree to just bow down and do what God says to do. So because your flesh cannot agree to just obey God, you got to fight your flesh. You got to pound your flesh and beat it into subjection. You got to go to war in your mind with that nigga inside of you that's telling you to do what goes against God. You got to fight him. You got to go to war because he's going to go to war against you. You think you're going to be at peace and serve God? You're fooling yourself. You're going to have to fight inside of yourself. And guess what? Can't nobody fight that fight for you. And I could teach a class. The Lord allowed me to be able to show you scriptures. But you got to take up that battle for yourself because only you can save your soul. Can't nobody else save your soul but you. You got to want it bad enough, man. If you don't want it, it'll never happen for you. You'll constantly be full of shame. Constantly be feeling the reproach of others. You got to want it for yourself. God wants it for you. How do I know? He put you on the earth. He had you be born to the 12 tribes of Israel. God wants you to fight. He birthed you to be a fighter. He gave you that mother and that father, gave you that family, let you be raised in that house, in that neighborhood with all of them evil people because he wanted you to fight to be nothing like them. You thought it was going to be easy? We're talking about the kingdom of heaven, man. Power and rulership forever and ever. You thought God was just going to hand it out like fucking candy on Halloween? No, this thing don't get handed out. You earn your keep, man. You get out what you put in. And if you don't put in your all in defeat, that demon that's riding shotgun, then you'll never have nothing. And listen, you've been fighting that battle your whole life. I know for a fact. The demon that I've been battling, man, since I became aware, and I became aware way before the truth. I became aware way before the truth that I was fighting something inside of me. And it's been for me, this is just me, I'm sharing with y'all. For me, it's like, it's a whole nother nigga that's in me. Man, I remember when I was in the world, I was a kid. I was the only child. I was a little kid. I used to talk to myself. I remember my mother used to say, "Who you talking to, boy?" I was like, "I'm just talking to you." Like, no, either you talking to God or you talking to the devil. I remember I'm talking about, I'm like 7, 8. And it's like, man, what the hell she talking about? She don't know what she talking about, man. I ain't talking to no devil. That was the demon talking to me, telling me who she talking about. Ain't nobody talking to no devil. And I'm talking about, it was that early in my life. I remember early on in my life, young, young, 5, 6 years old, different things that I did, and I knew was wrong and I shouldn't do them. And it was the same demon that had me doing wrong when I was 11 and 12. The same demon that had me doing wrong when I was 15 and 16. The same demon that plagued me with depression all through my high school years. That same nigga that was there for me when I was a kid, he was there through everything. And so when I came and when I finally got miserable enough in my life that I didn't want to deal with living this way anymore, I said, man, I got to do something different. I'm going to die. This nigga's going to get me killed. Because this nigga is getting more and more reckless. I was in my life knowing that I was not in control and feeling like this nigga going to get me killed. Man, I got to do something. I went and started searching. I went into the church. I went into the Islam and all the same story I tell y'all a million times. I did all those things, but nothing could help me fight this nigga who was in me and having me do things I didn't want to do. It wasn't until the truth, man, that I was able to get some control, that I was able to get some strength, stop being such a bitch and a hoe to myself. It wasn't other people that were, listen, man. But niggas will tell you that I grew up with, man, and I was me, man. I was a goddamn leader. A nigga couldn't even get me to fight if I didn't want to fight. You couldn't disrespect me or treat me like some hoe. That ain't what I was, man. Goddamn man. But inside of myself, I was a bitch. I was a chump. I was being bullied by some nigga who I didn't even like being. And it wasn't until I came into the truth that I was able to get some strength to say, I'm not living like this no more. Nah, man, I'm not doing that. I hate the way I feel when I do that shit. I'm not doing that no more. I'm going to class, man. I'm taking notes, man. I'm going to study this Bible. I'm reading the scriptures tonight. I'm not going there. I'm not going to that website. You understand? I'm not typing in that. I'm not looking at that. I'm not destroying myself that way anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm going to study these scriptures, man. I'm going to become a better man. I'm going to be the man that God made me to be. And when I got bold enough to tell the thing inside of me that I wasn't going to obey it anymore, it said, all right, nigga, okay. You think you tough. You gonna get rid of me, nigga? You ain't getting rid of me. I ain't going nowhere. This the demon. I ain't going nowhere. Nigga, you ain't never gonna get rid of me. I'm always gonna be right here. And at that time, I said, all right, nigga, fuck it. We're gonna have to go to war then. And I thank the Lord for the truth. I thank the Lord for the men of the ISUPK because they taught me how to fight that battle. And to this day, right now, as I'm teaching this class, the nigga is still in my head fighting. Still saying, yeah, all right, nigga, so what? Nice class. But I'm still on your ass. And I still let him know, like, nigga, whatever. You ain't got nothing on me, man. The Lord with me. But I gotta keep the pressure on. I can't never ever relax like, yeah, man, I done made it now. I'm good now. Hey, I'm a captain 10,000, man. The Lord is with me. I ain't got nothing to worry about. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That nigga is in your head waiting for the day that you get comfortable. Because then all of the evil, disgusting things that you imagine, he's gonna bring your way. And I'm not, listen, man, I don't have no reservations about the things that I'm fighting on and been fighting and gonna keep fighting my whole life. I know what I'm up against, man, and it's a hell of a goddamn fight. I can only imagine what you up against. I can only imagine what you struggling through. And I pray that the Most High allow me in my victories and my strength You understand? And my growth and the using me to teach these classes will help you to be able to get right. Help you be able to fight and get control of the goddamn will. Satan will use anything, man. He'll use your woman. He'll use your kids. He'll use your mama, your auntie, anything he can to weaken you. You fighting a battle with someone inside of you, and he got allies inside of other people. This is crazy. You fighting your flesh, right? You fighting yourself. You trying to get control of the wheel. There's someone in the vehicle with you, always constantly trying to tempt you and get you to do evil. Then he has partners who are in other people that's driving their vehicle, getting them to do evil, and from their vehicle, they attack you and yours. That shit crazy. It's crazy. You have got to apply pressure. The beautiful thing about the truth is the truth allows us to come together with other people who fight in this fight. I'm in the truth. I'm fighting to hold on to my steering wheel. I'm fighting to drive my life towards the Most High. And there's another brother right here who's doing the same thing. We both seatbelt on, hands on 10 and 2, driving, we checking our mirrors, man. We stopping at the stop signs. Me and this brother are together, which is we get strength from one another. But if you know what I'm saying, I need that because me and this brother together driving, we fighting the same fight inside ourselves, but also we recognize like you fighting too, and I'm fighting too. So when somebody who comes our way who's not fighting, me and this brother band together and say, nah, you ain't about to come to us with your evil. You ain't in the driver's seat. I see a demon steering that machine. You can't come over here with that. Nah, you got to get away from here. Nah, ho, me and the brother, we step out. Me and this brother, we righteous. We serve the Lord. Some nasty hoe just trying to give vagina away. Nah, man, we been to the Lord. You see how we dress, man? We got these free. See how I'm dressed, right? Now I don't deal with no hoes, man. You got a man, sis? Oh, you got a man? All right, well, you take care, man. Enjoy the rest of your night. You understand? We go out here. Me and this brother, we fighting our flesh. We came out the world. You know what I'm saying? We was niggas that ain't take shit in the world. We fight a nigga, knock a nigga out, shoot a nigga. Me and this big brother, we fighting to be brothers, fighting to love our people. We go out, nigga ask us, hey man, what y'all GDs? Nah, brother, we ain't GD, man. We did this, man. We Israelites, man. We serve the Lord. You see how we dress, these clothes we got on? There's demons in other people that's trying to team up with the demon in you to overthrow you. So it's a battle, man. It's a war. And you better be fighting, because if you're not fighting, then you lose it. And what are you fighting for? You fighting to deliver that soul back to the Most High. That's the point. He gave you. He said, listen, go down there and drive this vehicle and honor me in the vehicle. Honor me in this body that I gave you. Serve me in the body that I gave you, because that's how you're going to get back to me. But along the way, man, it's all manner of pitfalls and traps and things trying to destroy you. It's goddamn dragons and lions and tigers and bears. You better goddamn fight, man. Be a soldier. That's what God created you to be. The Lord wants that soul back. That's why you got to fight. That's why you got to become righteous. That's why you need to overcome. Romans 8:8. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so, be that the Spirit of God dwell in you. When you're spiritual, it's because the Spirit of God dwells in you. That spirit that you got, that's God. God gave that to you. And God has equipped you with everything you need to serve him. You come from him. We don't come from this earth, man. This earth ain't where our spirit come from. That thing inside of you that makes you who you are, it don't come from this earth. It's not a product of this goddamn environment. That's your body is training you to be that way. Your flesh is driving that makes you a product of your environment. You're a product of God. And when you live spiritual, when you obey him, that's the Spirit of God. And when you get the Spirit of God, guess what you can't do? Can't live carnal, man. It's beneath me. Nah, man, I know what God said to do. I do what God said. I don't live my life the way I want to live it. I live it the way that the Lord said I'm supposed to live it. I do the things that the Most High said I'm supposed to do. That's what it means to deliver your soul. That's what it means, you know what I'm saying, to fear the Most High. You are what the Most High has put here to drive your vehicle. That body is a vehicle. If you're not living right, it's because you are not in control. And living right could mean obeying the Most. Well, living right means obeying the Most High. But the Most High is so specific in His laws, statutes, and commandments that anything that is unhealthy in this body, anything you're doing unhealthy to this body, it's because you're not honoring the Lord in that body. Get control of your life. Get control of your body. Save your soul. Because that is the nature of life. Either you're fighting or you're losing. And if you're losing, then your soul is being destroyed. See if there's any more. Here we go. Romans 8:9. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, he is none of his. Everybody understands? Let me see something. Salaki. Let me drop that because let me drop that. We 8:57. We up on the time. I'm gonna clip it right there, right? But like I said before the class, Salaki. It's maybe a 2 or 3 part class. You know what I'm saying? So this is gonna be the first part. What is your soul? Right? Lord allow we laid a decent foundation. We get an understanding of what the soul is, where the nature of it, where it comes from, what the purpose of it is, why you should save it. Next week we're gonna go with, well, maybe I might have teach a class tomorrow. I might teach class tomorrow and Saturday, just to get through this breakdown. Or I may stretch it into next week. I'll decide. But I'm gonna get all the scriptures and line them up. We're gonna get a full comprehensive understanding of how to save our souls. Everybody understands? With that, if any brothers and sisters have any last questions, you can go ahead and type them in. If not, we are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. We've been in the streets teaching since 1969. The sole purpose of the ISUPK is to teach so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians the truth according to the Bible. The truth according to the Bible is that so-called Blacks, Latinos, Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Here in Memphis, Tennessee, we have a physical school location. The address is 216 North Hollywood Street. You brothers and sisters out there got any family, any loved ones, people you care about that are interested or in need of leadership, guidance, protection, or security, or counsel, get them in contact with the ISUPK. And with that, one courtesy salute for the brothers. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakathum. The Most High bless you in the name of Yahweh Shah. One courtesy salute for the sisters. Yahweh Shema Alathan Bahashem Yahweh Shah. The Most High watch over you in the name of Yahweh Shah. Shalom, Israel.